Hi, I'm Timothy Mitchell. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, roughly my hometown, and I'm here at the Mimaki facility, and I'm here to look at the Mimaki flatbeds. Now, I don't know as much about the Mimaki flatbeds as I do the roll-to-roll because I can't fit one in the house. I've tried. There's just no room. They're a little too big, and I can't quite fit them, and the wife would probably go bonkers if I did. So I have to come here, which is just down the road from me, and then talk to Hugo Gonzalez.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'm the guest. You're the host.
Welcome to
Thank
Mimaki.
you. So you're the expert on the flatbed printers, the UV
Yes.
Mimaki flatbeds.
Yes, all of the IP products, including our flatbed cutters.
Okay, perfect. This is a flatbed printer.
Yes, this is the JFX200-2513 EX.
Okay.
This is
Thank you for remembering
Great.
that. I wouldn't.
yeah, this is a great entry-level product for anyone needing 4x8 print surface.
Yeah, so now what I understand, and I did a little research on this, this is like the best-selling flatbed printer in its class in the country for sure, probably worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. The JFX, this model, the 200 series, has been around for about 8 to 9 years, and it's been great because of its entry-level pricing,
Right.
but its high-value production.
Yeah, what I noticed in the specs that it has, and we'll go over those in a second, is it seems to me that this is everything everyone needs to do 4x8 boards, and then anything smaller, and does all the different specialty things that you can do, and it does it at a very remarkable price point. So your value, for what you get and what you pay, you get a lot of value.
Absolutely. And it has a very cost-effective running cost. For example, like one of our inks is down to 11 cents per square foot, which is the best in the whole arena of flatbeds.
Sure, that's really good because operation cost is key. You know, you got to look at your pricing on everything you do. One of the things, your consumables with any material, with any printer is going to be your ink.
Yes, absolutely.
So your ink is very affordable.
So yeah, with ink, and we have the ink comes in so many varieties to really meet any needs that our customers might have. We have anything from fully rigid LH100 ink, which is non-stretchable, hard, chemical resistant, solvent resistant.
Okay, so you have certain customers like, look, we need certain things in a very rigid surface to do what we want to do.
Absolutely.
You have an ink for that.
Yeah, if any signage that needs to be sanitized often, the LH100 is perfect for that. And then we have flexible options. So if you're doing applications like
Coroplast.
Coroplast
and everything.
Any kind of polycarb that's going to be thermoformed afterwards, things like that. And then we have the highly thermoformable ink as well available. It's the 350 ink that has up to a 350% stretch without losing any saturation.
All right, so you have all kinds of custom thermoforming inks that you can use with this printer as well.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, so your ink set just sort of depends on what do you want to do.
Absolutely.
And then you have an ink set for that.
Yeah, well, when we talk to the customer, we like to start with what are your primary applications, because we do have solutions for any of those needs.
Cool. I think that's a very good approach. It's very reasonable. What do you do and what do you want the printer to do for you?
Absolutely.
I also notice you have a lot of different configurations on the inks themselves. Like, once you choose an ink set, then you can configure it differently. So it seems to be you have, on this particular printer, you have 3 heads.
Yes.
And the heads would be CMYK, CMYK, and then the third head would be, for example, like 2 white. I would probably go 2 white, a primer, and then the clear. I would use gloss. That would be my choice.
That is certainly the most versatile configuration. The clear allows you to do matte effects, gloss effects, and layering for textured, relief printing.
Yeah, I like those effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think if you're doing a really cool display, and then one part of it, like the Mimaki logo, would be just bright gloss. I just think that's really cool because now it pulls your eye into the differential and it makes you look at the print, and that's kind of the whole idea of visual advertising.
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot of value to 2D printing. So,
yeah, that's really cool. And then you have a primer, which allows you to print more successfully on acrylics and metals and everything that lays down, and then that gives you a really deep bond with the UV inks.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a nice configuration. So you get speed off the CMYK, you have your white inks. Tell me a little bit about the white, because white is, especially I think for flatbeds, it's really critical because people do a lot more white applications with clears on flatbeds or even printing on color material then with probably more than roll to roll even.
Yes, we were one of the pioneers of whiting printing on the flatbeds. Mimaki was the first one to produce the printable UV LED
Yeah,
whiting.
I thought I read that. Like you guys were the number one. Like you introduced it to the market.
So we definitely developed it as one of the best. It has the most opacity, and we even have a standard Mimaki circulation system for the whiting to reduce waste, so you don't have to do any purging, and it keeps the whiting from settling inside the system.
Yeah, I looked at your white ink circulation, and I think that's really a nice work of genius. That's excellent Japanese engineering right there of ensuring, because white ink fails because it doesn't circulate properly, and then the suspension falls apart, and you end up having clogged print heads and frustration on the customer level. Mimaki's thought through all that to say, hey, Mr. Customer, we've applied engineering principles to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yes.
And then I see clear recommendations about what to do to ensure that in addition to that, it doesn't happen.
Right. All the systems are designed to reduce waste, increase productivity, and basically a lot of them are passive systems that, there isn't a lot of operator interaction.
Oh, that's really cool. So it just sort of has its own fail-safes built right in.
Absolutely.
Designed to make it easy to do.
Yes.
So let's switch a little bit over to, I'm not really a speeds and feeds guy, like all these imaginary speeds that people quote, and it does this fast and this many boards. And then when I go into a real world environment and actually have somebody print with it and show me how many boards, I'm like, they're off by like 3 boards here. Like what is this?
Right.
So I'm a little skeptical. So usually the way I look at printing, and we talked a little earlier, is the first speed they give me, the fast speed, I throw out. I just go, it's not true. It might, and it's not true probably to an American audience or the critical kind of audience. And then there's probably a production speed that you run every day, which gets almost everything done. That's 90% of your workflow. You use that until there's some compelling reason not to.
Yes.
And then there's your high quality speed, and you always know who that customer is. You know already, I'm just going to slow it down a bit. And then you told me, oh, no, Tim. Actually, that super high speed that you tossed out is legit.
Yes.
Okay, and I went, really? That draft mode is legit? And I said, well, prove it. Print me a sheet, and that's what we have here.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking at it going, no, that's legit. That's a legit speed. I could sell that all day long. That looks really good, and that's your high speed.
Yes. When the machine came out, it was labeled a quality or a draft mode, but it has since been kind of redubbed.
Yeah, I don't like the word draft mode. Means like you can barely see the ink. It's so transparent.
One thing about Mimaki is a lot of the draft modes are actually sellable across the machines.
We need a new name.
Yes. So the new name is a high quality or high speed quality.
High speed quality. Okay, fair enough.
So it is, if you put it compared, next to our high quality mode, next to our high speed, you can see a difference. But if you see them individually, they're both sellable prints.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll this print that I'm looking at right here, this looks good.
Yes.
So anything downstream of that, for me, is just going to be, gravy, and I might run a production mode, and I'm sure in different types of medias, you might have to change speed because media is different properties. Yeah. Let me switch over. So give me a general speeds. So what is the number of boards you can do in this?
So in this high speed quality, you're printing about 8 to 10 depending on operator movement.
Okay, so if I could do coroplast on political science all day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so 8 to 10.
Yeah.
In a printer in this price point, I think that's excellent.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's really, you're almost in another step up in price, to be able to do that speed successfully. So check, that's a great feature of Mimaki Flatbed. Then what's your production? The one that I'm going to run every day for almost everything I use.
The one you're going to run every day is about 6 to 8 boards an hour.
Okay, 6 to 8 boards an hour.
Yeah.
And then you have a kind of a quality, super quality mode.
Yeah, the super quality, we do have customers that use it for photography. It's running about 1 board an hour.
All right. So I noticed you could use photography because you have a stable platform, doesn't go anywhere. You use really high quality piezo industrial heads, and I think you got like a like what, a 7 picoliter drop or something like that?
And this one 4 picoliter.
4 picoliter.
Yes, we're able to do 3-point font readable.
3-point font readable.
Yes.
So you have a very, very high fine drop size. So yeah, you could definitely do photography, fine art, and stuff that where you're using in a display environment, but you still have to maintain that really high quality.
Yes.
Then you would go to those modes.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for explaining that, because it's one of my things. That's not, for me, everything is about workflow. Everything is about ease of use. Everything is about reliability. Because even if it's fast, if I have to go through all this rigmarole and a lot of other inconveniences, it doesn't necessarily mean fast at the end of the day.
Right.
Because you have to look at the whole workflow, to my thinking. And one of the things I like about this printer is, with the durability with UV, everything is largely done.
Yeah.
Like there's no need for finishing, and especially if you have your clear coat gloss that you can put little touches on, it's almost like print. It's all dry, it's out the door, and you're done.
Yeah, as soon as it's done printing, it's considered process ready. So you can immediately, if you're going to modify it in any way, or if you're just going to package it, it's immediate off the table.
Okay. And another cool thing I like about the UV LED, and I think UV LED was a huge breakthrough that, Mimaki was when you were pioneers in that. You were like one of the key UV LED companies out of the gate. It gives you the ability to print on almost any type of media with no heat. You're printing at room temperature. Those LED lamps had virtually no heat on them. They're not deforming anything, so you can run super smooth styrene, for example.
Yes, this definitely opened up the gamut of media that we could print on, because now you opened it up to all heat-sensitive media.
Yeah,
now
that's a lot of media.
You're not worried about the halide lamp sitting over and curling the media.
See, that's what didn't work, because the old school LED, the halide lamps just ran too hot. They were inconsistent. You had to switch them out. They were a consumable. They had a life of effectiveness, and as that diminished, things wouldn't cure properly.
Correct.
And I think a lot of people were introduced to UV, and that was my generation, right? So figuring all that out was difficult, and now this LED is like, man, it's on like that. You're running immediately. There's no wait. There's no warm up. There's no smell from cooking the media.
Right.
It's just super clean and super fast, and everything comes out, perfect.
And there's a lot of benefits as far as like energy consumption and energy savings compared to like the halide lights, because these lights are instant on, instant off. So there is no warm up time. There's no, intermediate running time. It's just where it needs it while it needs it. So
see, I've seen a lot of new UV LED where I can plug them into a 110. So I might actually get my flatbed in the house anyway, later, just plug it into a wall socket.
This is by far my favorite printer that we sell because of that. It's so versatile, it's easy to use, and it's just an overall great machine.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if anyone is in the market for a flatbed, especially introductory, where you're like, look, man, I'm printing and then I'm running boards through a laminator, in order to mount them. And I'm going, man, this is eating up all of my time. There's got to be a better way. And now they know, the way to do it is you go to a flatbed, you print direct.
Yes.
So to me, all boards go to a flatbed, all rolls go to a roll. As soon as I'm printing to a roll and mounting to a board, at a certain point there, I'm like, man, this makes no sense. I have too many steps, too much waste. It's too much of a pain.
More places where an error can occur, or waste.
So in this, you just lay down the board, send the files over. Now, you guys use Rasterlink, comes with it, Rasterlink 7, but you also support all the other software.
Yeah, we can run it with Caldera, Onyx, Flexi. All of the major RIP softwares can.
I think another hallmark of a best-selling global printer is, you support all the software that's out there. So the customer decides what do they want to use.
Yeah.
But you give them the full Rasterlink just as a gift. It's like part of the printer.
Yeah, and no additional cost. And Rasterlink is very powerful on its own.
It is.
But we definitely give props to Onyx and Caldera and the other RIPs, because there are a lot of advantages to theirs as well.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of when you're using this, you've done a print, it's going to go to a finishing solution. In most cases, it's going to go to a cutter. You pair a flatbed with a flatbed cutter in most cases.
Yes.
So for us, it's, we're going to take this particular printer and then pair that with the right cutter, depending on what you're doing. And that process is going to be driven by the software. Your software controls, here's the print, and then here's the finishing device, and they have to be integrated. And those are preferential workflows that if the customer is really connected to them, they don't like to leave that workflow.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the machine can definitely adapt to current workflows.
Right. But I hear you about Rasterlink. I've been using it with different cutters and it works great. So Rasterlink is a fully fledged drip. If you didn't want to buy one, you do get one that comes with it, which is a little unusual.
Yes.
That's cool.
It's a great value.
Anything else about the printer you can think of that we should know about? You know, we've covered durability, we covered the LED, we covered the wide variety of medias that you can print on, the different ink configurations, the types of UV inks depending on what you're doing. You know, do you want super rigid? Do you want to have more elastic? Anything we kind of missed?
Yeah, it has a lot of little features to increase productivity, keep productivity up. For example, it has a foot pedal for the vacuum table.
Yeah, I saw the foot pedal. That's
and
cool.
It has places for the registration along the table, so you can attach jigs for higher volume products, or you can use those registration points to align your media to the corner of the table without having to like really eyeball it. You know, there is a spot to butt up against on the edge. And then all the maintenance features are partially automated. There is a daily maintenance, manual maintenance that we'd like to request, just to clean the parts that clean the machine, pretty much.
Okay.
So, but otherwise, it has circulation systems and regular maintenance systems that are automated.
Right, and legendary Mimaki engineering.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think of Mimaki. I always think of like, remember the Toyota 2.2 pickup trucks that would run for 500,000 miles? Well, that's kind of the Mimaki of Toyota pickup truck. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they're durable, they're simple, they're engineered well, they're made to last. They're around all over the world, and you know that's why it's a legendary global company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time, Hugo.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Folks, if you are in the market for a flatbed, and sooner or later you're all going to be in the market for a flatbed, the place to get into the flatbed market, in my humble opinion, is the Mimaki flatbeds. I think they offer the best value on the market, and you can get them at LexJet. And I would encourage you to call the LexJet salespeople at 1-800-4-LexJet or LexJet.com.